Good day, everyone. Welcome to once again to our bi-monthly Tech Talk series. My name is Alapa Patia. I'll be the host for today. And this Tech Talk series was actually sponsored by TechVas Global. And we have today Mr. Zion, who will take us through the topic workflow automation and vibe coding. Yeah, so let's welcome Mr. Zion to the stage.
Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Zion, and I am a full-stack software engineer. Now, I use full-stack software engineer because it practically defines what I do. So, I do UI UX design. I do um, front-end development with React. I do back-end development with Django. I also do robotics process automation, which is building robotics agents for automating business processes. So, like Fatia said, we're going to be talking about workflow automation and vibe coding. Now, automation comes from the concept of um, building systems that can work by themselves without actually needing human input. So the whole idea is a system that helps you do repetitive tasks, a system that helps you um, work in an environment where there's context switching, and a system that avoids burnout, especially for developers. So the whole concept of um, automation as software developers is the fact that automation exists so we don't spend more time setting up than building. We want a situation where we can start building without having to go through the process of setting up the same thing, repeating the same thing all over again, like creating boilerplates and so on. So there's this thing called, I think automation in software development is falls under something called RPA. RPA is called robotic process automation. So robotic process automation is the the technology where we use artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate repetitive business processes. Use, for example, say social media management. Now, if you look social media management, most of the things we do there every day are quite repetitive, like create videos or create content in general. It come in any format, video, audio, and so on. So you create video, you edit this video, you post this video across social media channels, then you wait and reply to comments. Do you understand? So things like that would actually cause burnout to certain people, especially us developers. So that's where the concept of robotic process automation came. It we just decided, oh, why don't we create a technology where we could automate repetitive business processes? These processes comes in multiple formats actually. So you see situation where um, let's say you're the CFO of a company and you're in charge of paying thousand employees their salary within a particular period of time, and based on hierarchy, you give them bonus according to certain capabilities. Now, imagine if you have to pay everybody individually. You say, oh, Simon is the project manager, and every month you tend to give, I don't know, 5% increase in salary for certain achievements. Then you now have to do the calculation. You now have to imagine you use OP, for example. You now have to go through the process of paying them individually, one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Now, if you think about it, that task is very tedious. So that is where robotic process automation comes in. You know, okay, it is repetitive. You want to build a platform where you want to build a platform where you could you already have details of these people, and when it is a particular time of the month, it pays everybody. It does something you would have to do over and over and over and over again. It does it now at once, like bulk, file everything together and do it in minutes, in seconds, I don't know, depending on the specific period of time you want it to run for. So now there are a couple of platforms that have existed over the years for automating business processes. Now, I think 4 to 5 years ago, there's this technology called UiPath. Now, UiPath is an automation platform where you it works like an ID, a drag and drop ID, where you build workflows and let this workflow automate processes. Then I think a competition came a few years later called Automation Anywhere. At that point in time, there were the two leading automation industry in the automation industry. So UiPath and Automation Anywhere. Now, these technologies have been ruling for years actually because they got to a point where to become a professional automation engineer, you need to have global certification from either of these organizations, say either UiPath Developer Certification, UiPath Automation Engineer, UiPath Cloud Specialist, or Automation Anywhere Cloud Specialist. And these certifications actually cost a lot and globally recognized. But over the years, I think one technology that came and changed a whole lot of things is um, large language models. Use ChatGPT for example. As the technology for ChatGPT came up, I don't know, a couple of companies, a couple of softwares were actually built that could function properly with ChatGPT. For example, technology that could automate workflow. Now, let me explain what workflow is. Workflow is just is just a flow of software that does specific things. Like, oh, I get a message I get a message sent to my WhatsApp. Then I would need to move from WhatsApp to Gmail. I would need to move from Gmail to, I don't know, say um, Instagram. Then from Instagram I move to LinkedIn. Now these are workflows. Workflows are just a flow of multiple channels where data is being sent from one channel to another channel to the other channel. So now there's this tool called Zapier. Now Zapier came, I think it came 2 years ago. Zapier is a workflow automation tool where it helps to build like a group of workflows where data is being automated from one workflow to another workflow. And one of the leading softwares in um, workflow automation is something I would recommend for everybody. It's called UiPath. So UiPath is a technology that helps you build workflows and connect multiple workflows together so data can be passed across them. Now, it is a lot more developer oriented because you could write code to automate these workflows, or you could use their drag and drop canvas to actually drag and drop um, workflows and I don't know, data, whatever it is you want to manipulate on that document works a lot more like a flowchart. So the concept of anything exists just so we developers can automate certain processes that takes time. Look, for example, I don't know if you've gone to Instagram recently and you've noticed there are a lot of people there that upload content that seem to look like AI. Now, over the past month, it's been create content with a platform like a video generation platform, AI video generation platform. Then when you create a video from there, you take that video, then you put it on, I don't know, social media or YouTube, for example, for monetization purposes. But due to the existence of workflow automation platforms like Zapier, like Anypen, it has made it has it has actually made the concept of content creation better because now you could automate the process of using an AI platform, a workflow that can exist as a workflow. Using an AI platform like Google VO3 to generate videos, then you use platforms like Buffer to get this video and distribute this video across social media channels. So here's how it works. You want to automate a content creation setting. Say, for example, you decide, oh yeah, in 2026, I want to be a YouTuber. So I want to try and grow a YouTube channel and start making money from it. And you figured, oh, I don't have I don't have technicalities needed to create videos. Heck, I am bad at video creation, and I have zero knowledge when it comes to actually managing a channel. Now, you could use anything to automate this process. You could say, okay, I am building a workflow where I want one part of the workflow to be in charge of generating content ideas. Use ChatGPT, for example. You could just pass a prompt to ChatGPT that says, "Oh, I need you to. I want to start a YouTube content creation business, and I need you to generate I need you to suggest a niche for me, for example." So ChatGPT suggests a niche for you. Then you tell it, oh, I need you to generate a 30 days content calendar for me for generating video for that niche. Now it generates this calendar. Then you automate the whole process of sending day one, day two, day three to Google View 3. So Google View 3 creates no, this is actually a little bit complicated because now the workflow works in a very peculiar way. You're combining multiple channels together. You're combining ChatGPT, you're combining Google View 3, you're combining Buffer. Maybe you can decide to combine other platforms for content creation too. But let's assume you're working with just these three: ChatGPT, Google View 3, and Buffer. So what it does is this: ChatGPT connects with ChatGPT account. You tell it, oh, you use an agent, actually, an agent in Anytime to connect this thing. You say, okay, go to ChatGPT, search, use this prompt to search for this. Now, once the feedback or once the request comes back, it comes back in a JSON format. Now, JSON format is just a JavaScript object notation. It's like the way data comes in variables, but in this time, it comes in key value pairs. It could come in, okay, here your, let's say you search, for example, you send a request to ChatGPT. You say, okay, give me 30 days content plan for so niche. Now, it sends this content in a JSON format. Then you could, from your Anything work, from your Anything Canva, you could decide, oh, why don't you send this data back to me? Because remember, you sent it a prompt that said, um, give me a 30 days content creation calendar or content idea calendar. So it like crafts day one, build a, I don't know, create a video of you being surrounded by thousands of copies. Now, most people tend to consume content like this because I don't know, for some reason it sends dopamine to their brain that makes it exciting for them. Um, Now, if you've sent, if you've gotten this, if you've gotten this result from ChatGPT, you could use your Anything workflow to like send. Sorry about that noise. You could use your ChatGPT. You could use your Anything workflow to give it this data one by one. Since ChatGPT gave you in 30 days format, which means you have 30 contents here. Now you could use your Anything workflow to loop this data back to you in in single variable. Now, once it gives each variable to you, you send individual, you send them individually to Google View 3 and tell Google View 3, okay, create a video for me using this idea. Now, Google View 3 generates that video from the prompt being sent to it. Then it sends that data back to you through a link that says, click this link to watch or click to download. Now, that is where Buffer comes in. Now, from Buffer, you connect Buffer to it and say, okay, you link all your social media channels to it. You link your Instagram, you link your TikTok, you link your Facebook, you link your YouTube to it. Then you say, okay, take all this video that I've sent now, download it and distribute it across platforms. Now, mind you, you might also need to connect a large language model, say ChatGPT, for example, again, to tell it, okay, from this, analyze this video and generate a, let's say, generate caption or hashtag to make this content go viral. Now, it does the whole process of managing a particular account from content creation to hashtag research to content posting. What I am trying to say is this: workflow automation softwares like Anything automates these whole processes. So you just sit down and let it do all the work. So the whole concept is this: Buffer then collects that video. ChatGPT, another large language model for ChatGPT, for example, generates caption and hashtag that would actually make it go viral. Then it takes this whole data, feed it to Buffer. Now Buffer then distributes it to multiple platforms. That is why you see a lot of TikTok channels these days where the manager of that TikTok channel is quite consistent. Now, things like this help a lot. Now, automation goes beyond just social media because you could actually automate your life as a developer. Use me, for example. Um, there are times when I there are times when I'll see, oh yeah, I'm starting to run low on funds, and maybe the contract I've been having with a couple of companies I've actually finished my contract with them. So I would need to be employed by a couple other companies. So there's this thing I've been thinking of doing for days now. So I want to automate a platform where I give my CV to the to this automation agent. Now what it does is this: it goes to LinkedIn, it scrapes job posting or job listing there, then it takes the link from each one of them, carries my CV, upload to that link, and apply for the job position for me. So things like cover letter, it writes cover letter and upload things like reshaping or reconstructing my CV to match that particular job position. It does all these things for me. So automation goes way beyond the way we are looking now. Now it's practically one of the oil money now in the industry. So if you go to YouTube, just search um, automation, for example. Now you see a lot of ideas that you see teenagers making millions from automating processes. Now you see a lot of agencies. I think between the last 6 months, we've had like thousands of agencies that are starting to exist now from the concept of building automation solutions to business owners. So now there is one solution that's actually been going viral these past few months is AI call agents. So AI call agents are it's just a technology where you automate the concept of owning a physical sales representative. So rather than employing a sales sales representative, you could actually build a bot that could actually help you make and receive calls. So when use organizations like Chicken Republic for example. Let's assume Chicken Republic um, takes voice call order, for example. There's a number there that exists for you to call and make food order. Now, most times, no, I don't think Chicken Republic actually would actually create a clear picture here. Use MTN customer care service. Now, we are sure MTN customer call service employs more than one customer care personnel, right? So, I mean, I could make a call now. You could make a call. All three of us could make calls now, and multiple people pick these calls, right? So, the whole concept of building a sales um, call representative is you want to build a robot that works simultaneously. Like it could it could it could it could receive calls from 100 people at the same time, and it doesn't get tired. It has accurate information. It doesn't get angry at you, and it doesn't give you attitude. So you've automated it in a way that when it calls, due to the fact that it's being attached to a particular large language model, say ChatGPT for example, so it understands it understands it understands what you say, it understands instructions you give to it, and it understands better feedback to give you based off conversation you're having. Say, for example, you built a robot that helps promote, no, that helps process order for an organization like Chicken Republic. Oh yeah, when you call, it's already engineered in a way that once once you ask for certain information, it already has this information in its database. Say for example, what Chicken Republic just need to do is this: carry our how much we sell a plate of rice, how much we sell a bowl of chicken, how much we sell ice cream if you sell ice cream. Now you take this detail, you feed it to this AI agent created on M810. Now it analyzes this data on the stance that, oh yes, we sell a plate of rice for this, we sell a plate of this for this. We have no refund policy order. It has a particular set of rules it follows before it does certain things that it does. So now when you give this data to this agent, The agent analyze this data based off a prompt that you give it. Maybe you might give it a prompt that tells it, oh, you are a sales representative for a company called Chicken Republic that sells fried rice and chicken. Oh, your job is to process sales and approve orders. Your job is to, I don't know, you give it a you give it certain tasks to accomplish, or you give it an overview of what it should act like. Then when you connect it, you then connect it to platforms like Twilio. Twilio is like a a core service platform that gives dedicated phone numbers to um certain applications that you build. So once you connected it to Twilio, it allocates a particular phone number to it. Now once you call, it then redirects it to your application to talk to that AI. So you use also technologies like 11 Lab to automate text to speech. So the way it works is this: once once you use, oh yeah, you use um, platforms like 11 Labs to automate text to speech. Then you use other platforms to automate speech to text. I don't know, platforms like PyTTX3, and I believe there are better platforms out there too. But PyTTX3 is actually free, but there are other paid platforms that actually transcribe better. So when you say something in speech, it converts it back to text. So the way it works is this: you say something in you send a message to the AI. AI converts whatever you say in voice to speech, send it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT brings back a response. It converts that text response back to speech and sends it back to you. So if you look at it, you're just communicating. The only difference is agents at the middle is doing the transcribing. So that's how this sales call agent works. Now, the thing is this: it's in the artificial intelligence industry. I believe AI exists to automate certain repetitive tasks that we humans are supposed to be responsible for. So understand that it is not that AI is there to take your job. No. Understand that somebody that knows how to use AI better than you would actually take your job. So now this brings us back to vibe coding. So I believe at one point in time as developers, we've all um, I don't know, intercepted the concept of vibe coding at some point. We've all heard of the word vibe coding at some point. So um, vibe coding is a mental state where clarity, momentum, creativity are aligned. So it is that state where you don't have to worry much about technicality, but you focus more on production. And this process is only possible using AI. So the whole concept of vibe coding is this: you try as much as possible not to think from a developer point of view. You tend to think from a project manager point of view. So vibe coding is only possible with artificial intelligence. So the concept of vibe coding is you building having AI as your wingman. Use wingman for example. Most of us would have watched Iron Man. Now there's Iron Man owns this artificial intelligence called Jarvis. So Jarvis is more like a co-worker. Like look at it like you working alongside somebody that is very smart, very fast, and someone that analyze data better than you. So that's the whole concept of vibe coding. Now, the whole concept of the whole idea of vibe coding have gone so viral to the point where teenagers these days become billionaires by just sending a particular prompt for an idea for an application. Say, for example, there's this there's this application a friend of mine in Dubai has been working on for the last 4 years. So I mean we've been going back and forth about it for quite some time now. Then last week, I think last week or upper last week, we went to acquire.com and we noticed, oh, somebody actually released a a concept of our application even better. We noticed something we've been building for the last how many years? Somebody already built this thing in the space of 1 week. Now, how does that work? Is it that these people started coding this thing from scratch? No, they didn't. Now, platforms like Lovable, platforms like Emergent, platforms like um, ChatGPT, Claude. Now, this platform has made the whole concept of building software very, very easy. So there are situations where You wake up one morning and you figure out, oh, I have an idea for building an application that does this, but I am not a developer. How do I build, or how do I manage to create like an MVP version of this application? This is where AI platforms like Lovable comes up. Now, this technology has actually made a couple of billionaires over the years, because now you don't necessarily need technical coding skills to build applications. You could go to platforms like um, Lovable, and you just what it does. Lovable helps you convert prompt to code. So you tell it, oh, I need to build a software that does this, this, and this, and give it a few minutes. Things like that comes up. So the core principle of vibe coding is have a clear intent before you start writing code. So how this works is this. If you want to build a software application, right? Oh, you figured, oh, I don't have experience with JavaScript, I don't have experience with React, neither do I have experience with platforms like with technologies like React Native. And you say, oh, I have an idea that I would like to implement. You go to platforms like Lovable, right? Now, going to this platform is one thing. You need two skills actually. You need um you need prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is a very key one very key aspect of vibe coding. Now, prompt engineering is an idea for you to engineer a prompt enough for large language models to understand your intent. So look at it like you speaking to the AI in a way the AI can understand what you want. If you don't know how to engineer a prompt, or if you don't know how to tell AI exactly what you want it to do for you probably not get exactly what you want. I don't know. Most of you must have tried writing final year projects using AI. The difference between you and other people that were charged for plagiarism is some people just know how to write prompts better. Now, the people that are actually not charged for plagiarism are, are better prompt engineers compared to others that were charged for plagiarism. So a better prompt actually does the trick. If you're able to write prompts in an appropriate way, you'd probably not have problems with having artificial intelligence do anything you want it to do for you. Use Lovable, for example. You don't just go to Lovable and say, oh, I want to build an application that collects data from user, then predicts a particular scenario back to them. No, you don't do it. You need to break this down into context. You need to tell it step by step. You need to have like a clear vision of what you want to give your application to look like. Now, AI has there's this funny thing about AI where you need to feed it data for it to be able to give you better results. So, in order for you to feed it data, you need to understand the data you need to feed to it. So, in terms of vibe coding, or in terms of building software application using certain AI engines, is you need to give it a lot of details about this application you want to give to it. Now, this isn't exactly difficult. You don't necessarily need to be a pro prompt engineer for you to be able to build better applications with a vibe coding software. You don't necessarily need to. You just need to understand how prompting works, and you need to understand how that specific large language model, that ChatGPT, for example, how it works. So you could actually go to ChatGPT, explain in your own words what you want to build, the idea of what you want to build. Then you could tell ChatGPT, oh, why don't you convert this back into a prompt, that an appropriate prompt where I can send to Lovable for Lovable to build me this exact application. Now you notice the trick there. This whole thing is just about communication. If you know how to communicate, you'll be able to interact with this AI better. So if you do what I just said now, you could actually get a prompt back, an organized prompt back, where you just copy and paste to Lovable, and Lovable gives you whatever it is you want. Now, the junction between automation workflow and vibe coding is this. If you find a way to master um, platforms like Anything, and you find a way to master platforms like Lovable, you are this close, you're one step closer to achieving the goals of most software engineers today. Say for example, now there's this thing in workflow automation called webhook. So webhook is a way to send out data between software, right? And you could actually build um, you could actually build an anytime workflow um, that helps people generate videos from a particular prompt. Say, for example, what you want your workflow to do is this. Somebody sends a voice note and said, oh, or somebody sends a voice note from Telegram that says, oh, I want you to create a video of me fighting with a tiger. No, fighting with two tigers. And make sure I end up becoming victorious at the end of the fight. Now that is a video idea, right? Now once you send it to Anytech, Anytech sends this data to ChatGPT. ChatGPT converts your text, your speech to text. It takes that data, sends it to another ChatGPT workflow, tell it, okay, convert this idea into a video prompt that I can send to a video platform to create this particular video. Now it generates a prompt for you. It sends that prompt back to Google VO3. Google VO3 generates a video. It creates a link of that video and send the link back to you to Telegram. So the once you send a message to it, give it a few moments, it sends back a video to you, a video of the exact instruction you gave it. Now, if you want to build softwares like this, you could actually go to Lovable and create a front end for this your Anytime application. So your Anytime workflow now works as a back end, while your front end is there to collect data from the user and sends back information back to the user. So the front end built with Lovable lets you, let's say, drop your voice note, then Anytime does the whole video creation, then sends that same creation back to Lovable, and you could be able to download the video from Lovable. Now, if you build something like this, you could actually sell it as a SaaS application where you just need to ask Lovable to create a couple of authentication pages, say account creation page, login and sign up page. Then you will tell people, oh, you pay, I don't know, you pay $10 per month to use this application. All you just need to do is at the back end, you pay for a ChatGPT Pro and a um, Google AI Studio Pro. And if you think about it, in, I don't know, if you could be able to acquire 5,000 users, and these people tend to pay per month, calculate it's $10 multiplied by 5,000 for a particular period of time, you're already making money. So with technologies like Anytime and technologies like um, how do they call it, Lovable, you could be able to build softwares as a service. You could be able to sell softwares as a service, and people will pay you for this software. Now, this idea of building, how do they call it, of content generation or generating videos for content is just like a needle in haystack of ideas that you could actually implement. You could actually build, I don't know, anything workflow that helps you generate invoice for clients, or generate not just invoice. It could help you generate, I don't know, whatever it is you want to do. Because in my own opinion, there is no limit to what you can do. Just understand anything as a platform, Lovable as a platform, combined together, you could actually build magic. And anything isn't exactly technical. Yeah, maybe it has a little bit of technicality to it, but it is built in a way that 10-year-olds could start using it in the space of 1 week. So you could actually figure out how to use anything in the space of 1 week. Now, if you want to go a step further, learn JavaScript, because anything um, has this node for code, writing code. So instead of you to combine multiple workflows together, you could just write your own code, attach it to that node. It does the work that, I don't know, 5 connected nodes could do. Now, this is even better because if you're very good at writing prompts, you could actually ask ChatGPT to generate this same code for you, then you upload it there on anything, and it does the job for you. You could say, okay, generate a code for me that collects data in JSON form, splits this data back individually, and sends it back to the user individually using a for loop. Now, that is something you need, like, I don't know, 4 nodes in anything to build. But you could actually use one single node, go to ChatGPT, ask it to create a JavaScript code that does this for you, copy that code, paste it here in minutes or in seconds. You've actually done something you could spend hours doing. So at the end of the day, everything falls back to your ability to use AI, prompt engineering, for example. So understand that the future belongs to those who automate early. You don't necessarily need to, oh, it's okay to learn programming. It's okay to learn React. It's okay to learn um, Django for Python for Django. It's okay to learn MemStack or whatever stack it is you want to learn. But don't go into automation late because there's this thing that people say these days, you're sleeping, others are making money. Now, you don't necessarily need to be sleeping. Understand that the time you're spending learning to use React JS or React Native, understand that people like you are already making millions here now. So focus focus more on um, focus more on development rather than the process. I mean, it's okay to focus on the process because one of the disadvantages of vibe coded applications these days are applications with poor security, but that you could also fix with a very good prompt. You should just be mindful of certain things, and I believe or trust me, you're going to be able to prompt applications that are actually revolutionary. Okay, so um, try as much as possible not to write, um, not to focus on, try as much as possible not to invest your time in writing code. Try as much as possible to invest your time in building solutions using um, resources that are available to you because you can't spend 6 months of your time learning React if somebody that don't know how to use React have been using Vicoded software to launch software application or SaaS application for the last 6 months that you've been spending learning React. Understand that you're in a generation where AI is number one topic. You're in a generation where AI is becoming so powerful you could accomplish a lot with it. Don't let the pride of being don't let the pride of being you want, oh, I want to be a developer that actually code. If you sit down for a moment and think about it, you find out the whole idea is for you to be production ready. It is not the process, it is the end game. It doesn't really matter the process you go through, just get it done. If one person writes code for 24 hours and the person gets the job done, and another person uses AI to also get the job done, we the users, we don't actually care how it's being done. We just care who does it first. Now, another thing I would like to make you guys understand is this. Um, if you have an idea and I have an idea, having the idea means nothing. What really matters is who executes the idea first. So don't get caught up in the fact that, oh, I have an idea that I want to start building, and I don't know, you keep building it for 10 years. If somebody else that knows how to use AI, think about that idea for a day, and that person goes, that person uses an AI tool to create that application in the space of, I don't know, you've been spending the last 6 months building, and this person does it in 2 days. If you think about it, one person is production oriented, while the other person is, I don't know, planning oriented. You don't necessarily need to plan. People are making money while you are sleeping on, I don't know, planning your application. So you need to sit down and think like a project manager rather than a software developer. Think, oh, I need to get this done. How and how do I need to get it done? Oh, I can use Lovable to get this done in the shortest period of time. Fine, if you can use Lovable, try using Lovable. If you can use, I don't know, Emergent, use Emergent. I don't know, you are teenagers these days that could build websites. I mean, you could build websites these days in space of 1 hour. Oh yeah, that's possible. You could just write prompt to Emergent, for example, tell it, oh, I want to create so application or so website. And it,
Excuse me, can you hear Mr. Zion?
yes, I can hear you.
All right, so we actually have a question here, which is,
Okay.
what advice do you give me as a newbie that's starting to go into tech? That was asked by Captain S. Ward. So can you
Okay.
answer the question,
Can
sir?
you can you repeat the question?
What advice will you give me as a newbie that's starting to go into tech?
They're starting to go into tech. Okay. Now, one mistake people make is this: you've decided you want to go into tech, but you've not actually decided which part of tech you want to go into. Now, an advice I would give you is this: get a clear vision of what you want to go into. Once you've gotten a clear vision of what you need to go into, let's say, for example, you tell yourself, tech is now a new thing people go into these days and become millionaires while working in. You've decided, oh, I want to go into tech. You need to first of all understand that there are multiple fields there. You could decide, oh, I want to go into graphic design, I want to go into video creation, I want to go into software development, I want to go into UI UX design. Now, once you know what you want to do, it becomes easier to integrate yourself into that particular career path. So first thing I would advise you to do is figure out which aspect of tech you want to go into, because that gives you like it gives you like a focus. If you don't know what you need to go in, if you don't know what you want to go into, then you get confused, because if you're the type that spends your time on YouTube every day, you get confused because you see people doing multiple things and they are succeeding at it, and you tend to not know where you want to go. But as a newbie, figure out which aspect of tech you want to spend your next 6 months in. Once you figure that out, then you can start. Does that answer his question?
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Can you round up because we have actually passed the time that we are meant to
Oh no, I actually
conclude.
rounded up already. So um,
All right.
what I wanted to talk about next is if there are questions that if anybody has questions to ask me.
All right. That's the only question we have for now. And if there's any other question before we conclude the tech talk, I'll let you know, sir. So
All right, thank
thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much, Mr. Zion. We really enjoyed the tech talk, and we've actually gained a lot today. So I would like everyone to know that TechVas Global would be having, they'll be starting their weekend classes on 24th of this month. So if you are probably, if you want to join the weekend classes, you can contact me on WhatsApp, and my WhatsApp number is 09027151827. So you can contact me and I would link you up with TechBars Global Team. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much, Mr. Zion.
Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much
So
as well.
in the absence of any questions, I think we would call it a day.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. I hope we have something like this often.
Yes, sir.